Why are we here? Why not just run against the Clinton administration and its collapsing public support? And in the spirit of total honesty, I have to say, when you watch them collapse this badly, it is tempting. But it's not good enough. The fact is that America is in trouble, and our trouble extends beyond the White House.
Newt Gingrich might be the I told you so kid of 1994.
And I tell you, I think that looks now like the contract with America, a brilliant political and strategic stroke. I think it probably helped Republicans in the midterms, although maybe they didn't need that much help. But it also gives them a governing agenda for the first weeks. You know, the next couple weeks are going to be incredibly active on Capitol Hill, and it's contributed to making Newt Gingrich the most powerful speaker since Joe Cannon ran things in the House of Representatives.
It's ironic, too, that the Democrats tried to make that contract with America seem like the fatal flaw in the Republican strategy.
Well, it was. I mean, I remember Stephanopoulos using it as a point of attack to go after them.
That's all they had.
But that's right. They also all they had. And another thing to be said here is I don't think most Americans voted on the contract with America. I think that was really sort of extraneous. The point was, I think, widespread discontent with President Clinton and with big government.
Well, in some ways, yeah, it was kind of a backdrop. I mean, a lot of folks sort of vaguely understood that they were talking about making government smaller. What it does provide, though, as Susan said, is an agenda for Republicans to act on. They've already written the 10 bills in the contract. They're ready to go. And Gingrich has a very energized House, which includes moderate and conservative Republicans, and they're going to move on this, and they're going to drive the action in the Senate as well.
I know we're supposed to look back, but let's look forward on the contract item. What happens if they don't get all or most of those passed?
I don't think it hurts. I think in large part what you have to understand, I think Gingrich is a master of this, is it's a lot of media-driven stuff. And what you do is you get out there and you say, I put it on the table and we're working towards it. And you make the Democrats, from the Republican perspective, into the obstructionists.
What was the turning point for Newt Gingrich and the Republicans in 1994?
I think Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Bill Clinton. Just Bill Clinton.
I think Bill Clinton elected them. But now they have the opportunity to show their stuff. And whether they can govern and deliver what people want to hear.
I think there were two bills that really were turning points in this year for the Republicans. I think one was the crime bill that a lot of Democrats celebrated. You remember all the hoopla, but I think that idea of midnight basketball really played badly. And then secondly, I think the health care plan, the idea of big government. Gosh, big government hasn't taken a beating like this in my lifetime. I mean, nobody wants government. It's like, do you want an FAA?
Yeah, well, let me give you a squirrely answer. I think it was locked in when Perot ran in '92 because you created an activist group of Americans who are distrustful of government, and this year they went to the Republicans. They were ready to roll.
What happened to Ross Perot in 1994? He lost the NAFTA debate, and then flunk, he falls through the trapdoor in the floor.
Well, it was interesting, though. Perot did a couple of things. About half of the endorsements he made fell through. His endorsement was useless. On the other hand, he did tell his people, hey, let's get active on this Republican contract, and I think that had more appeal to the grassroots than specific recommendations for races in Texas or New York or New Jersey.
Juan, I got another name for you and some more tape. Jimmy Carter.
Here he is.
Let us address some of the misunderstandings and try to overcome them. This is my 8th visit to Haiti for pleasure and for promoting democracy with elections, but I think this is by far the most important and urgent visit that I've ever made. Well, I would just like to report that we've had a very successful meeting here, very encouraging, and I'm going back to Palais now to seek agreement on an immediate ceasefire.
North Korea, Haiti, Bosnia. Does he think he's still in the White House?
Well, he's certainly the most interesting former president we've seen in my lifetime. And but, you know, he may or may not succeed in Bosnia, for instance, but you've got to admire him for being willing to take risks, being willing to fail. I mean, he's really made his position as a former president something that has mattered in the world. And you certainly have to praise what he did in Haiti.
There's a delicious irony in this, though. The whole Iran-Contra affair was about privatizing foreign policy. If you recall, there were these complaints about privatizing it. And Republicans talked about something called the Logan Act, which dates back to the 19th century, that says, if you do this sort of stuff, we throw you in jail. So in many ways, Jimmy Carter's become America's most colorful outlaw. And he's become a complete thorn in the side for the White House because where he's had success, and I think it's been temporary, it's been at the expense of the credibility of Bill Clinton.
No, I don't know if it's at the expense of Bill Clinton. In fact, I think in some ways he says to the American people, here's a thoughtful, caring Democrat who really has put himself out and cares deeply about the world's affairs, and I think that that's the best of Democratic tradition, and it really appeals to Bill Clinton.
Didn't he show in 1994 that one person can make a difference and can avert a crisis? I mean, on a seriously.
Absolutely. If there was a victory for the Democrats in 1994, you've got to say it's Haiti. Haiti, none of the Republicans and many of the Democrats thought that was going to be a huge failure. It was going to be a loss of American life. In fact, there has been none. It has been a tremendous success.
I agree.
And,
Look, I
you got to give Jimmy Carter
I was wrong on Haiti, too, but you still have to think in geopolitical terms about what this does to Clinton. In many cases, Carter has gone on these things without fully consulting the White House. He's just done it. He's a free agent. That does undermine the United States. I absolutely agree. Haiti's a success.
I hear your point, but I don't think it hurts Bill Clinton. If it hurts anyone, it hurts Warren Christopher.
Okay, we're going to take another break. I don't want to hurt you here, but we'll be back. Winners and losers of 1994. Got to do that right after this.
This is the huge new GE Profile 30 refrigerator. And since it's the largest refrigerator of its kind, you may wonder how it will fit in your kitchen. But while smart space designs like quick space shelves, huge freezer baskets, and deep door bins give you so much more space inside, you'll be astonished to find that it doesn't take up an inch more space outside. The new GE Profile 30. It fits because it's only bigger on the inside.
So a prize number worth millions of dollars arrives in somebody's mail.
Yes, and as soon as the number's returned,
you award the $10 million for American Family.
That's the easy part. First, we've got to get the winner to return the number.
Well, let's do it.
Okay.
And in 3, 2, 1.
Ed and I urge you to enter the sweepstakes with our picture this week. $10 million can be yours this fast.
Please get that number back to us, and I'll say you're a millionaire.
Tonight on CNN Presents, heartwarming stories of the human spirit. People whose hopes and dreams inspire our own. Men and women who go to any length to hold on to tradition. People whose common thread is uncommon devotion to their calling. Celebrate the small miracles of everyday life with Larry Woods as he travels across America. CNN Presents tonight, 9 Eastern.
So in leaving, I thank you, and I salute you, and I wish you all, those of you who are leaving with me and those who will be part of the 104th Congress, every success in the future.
Winners and losers of 1994. Now, I don't want to put any ideas in anyone's head, but there was Tom Foley saying his farewells. Losers for the year?
He's a big loser. There's no doubt about it. You know, and he spoke about the voice of people being the voice of God. I think that the voice has spoken, and 40 years of Democratic rule on that Hill has come to an end. That's a big loss. I think, though, if I'd pick one loser, I'd pick Oliver North. I think that North really entered this year on a high. Everyone thought he was going to be a central figure, political figure in this country, go into the Congress that once repudiated him and sold him the way. And he didn't win in very conservative Virginia.
Okay, I'm going to give you two losers. One is Stan Greenberg, the pollster for Democrats, who was going to lead them to victory. But I think the more profound loser for 1994 is Queen Elizabeth. I mean, she has to deal with this daffy family, and then today she ends up doing dueling TV appearances with CNN star Jesse Jackson. What an awful year.
Well, at least they don't have term limits for the royal family yet.
I think, you know, speaking on behalf not only of myself, but also my husband and two sons, the sports fans of America have been big losers this year. No baseball, no hockey. Now even the jockeys are talking about going off on strike.
One of these days. Winners for 1994. Let's go out on an up note. Juan, are there any?
Gee, you know, I have a hard time thinking of any. I guess you could say that in some ways you'd have to say the American people who spoke so loudly and clearly. I mean, it's incredible.
You know, I wish I could remember the name of the guy who wrote Forrest Gump. You know, there are a couple of there are a series of movies this year that made people feel good, and the folks who put those together made a bundle of money, and more power to them.
George Foreman, there's hope when you hit 40.
I like that one.
Well, on that note, we will take our farewells. As far as I'm concerned, the winners of the year, all of you guys, thanks very much for coming in so much throughout the year. It's been
Merry
terrific.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, and spend some time with your kids. We'll be right back with Bruce Morton and the last word, still ahead.